Hey guys, just a quick warning that Deion and I stayed up way too late, my voice was shot, and in order to stay awake, we were both playing video games, so there's gonna be some weird clicky clacks, there's gonna be weird meat dips, and different octaves, and different volumes at different times. Deion's gonna be quiet and loud. It's gonna happen, it's gonna be weird. You know what, I kept it as it was just because I think it's a little funny, or just interesting, and maybe you don't think so, and maybe you don't like this one, but you know what, here it is.
Friend. Slow down there, speed demon. Come on, I just want to talk to you. Something your car's extended warranty, please. Slow down. There was something else that I wanted to talk to you about, but I don't remember what it is now, so rip. That was such a long time. So much focus, intense focus.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know there's going to be points in the recording where we're just like...
just like yeah, getting real extra sweaty over here.
Welcome to All Topics No Pizza, where we start with a single idea, then add new ideas and topics until we lose control of the train and just go off the track and everything goes haywire. I am Matt, also known as Rhuminus, who messed up that intro quite a bit.
I'm just Deion, who never messes his intro. It's just that easy.
I have many recordings where that is not true. You have failed miserably, including one time where you didn't even introduce yourself. You just went... And then we were very confused because we had nothing. Oh,
sometimes I'm not here all the way, and that's fine.
Yeah, sometimes he's not Deion. Sometimes he's just not here. Sometimes he's enjoying another ethereal existence of doing whatever he decides to do. PS5s, Xboxes, graphics cards. That's all fun. Because I've read a lot of people get mad about those. And
if you can own one, which I don't know, I can't. I don't have
most people can. Well, most people can't within a reasonable price. No one can seem to find one.
That's the problem. Yeah,
which I think is an interesting thing. Just because I don't know. I'm conflicted on it. Just because I deal with it. It's a luxury item. You don't necessarily need to have it. But I also agree with the people that it's absolutely ridiculous. They shouldn't be paying $1,000 or $3,000 for a PS5 just because no one else can get one.
Yeah, or like people can't control themselves long enough to not buy them at scalp prices. Which is like, why would you do that?
And that's part of my problem of like, I don't feel bad for you because don't buy that. Like just wait. And then that's where people lose their minds. Like, I don't want to wait. And I'm like, well, welcome to life. If this was clean water, I'd agree with you. This is ridiculous, but this is a luxury item that you don't necessarily need. And also, this happens every time. Every single graphics card that comes out, even before COVID, this has always been an issue. So I'm not sure why people expect it to be anything different.
I don't have a problem waiting. I have no problems waiting. I wish I didn't have to, but like I do not have a problem with waiting years for a console. I was not gonna buy the PS4. I didn't think it was that cool. I thought it was great. I didn't think it was that important.
Well, I could also think that I don't think you would have bought one.
Oh no, I would have waited for the PS5. And I would have continued to wait.
You would have waited a long time, my friend.
Yeah, now that I realize what happened, I would have been continuing to wait. But that, you have other systems, I have other, PC. It's like, So I get it. People have impulse control problems, but like damn,
But it's, that's
like
just...
your impulse control is so bad that it's fucking up our gaming ecosystem. Like you straight up, like your greed is so serious, and the greed of scalpers, right, that are perpetuating the system, or no, not perpetuating, but actively like creating it. So you're not getting like any snow where you are in Colorado at all.
We got half an inch.
That's bullshit.
Yep.
We got like an inch and a half, and then now we're getting just straight ice.
Yeah,
it's raining right now, and it's gonna be freezing cold tomorrow, and Like I'm gonna have to wake up at like 6 a.m. just so that I could like dig out the car.
I keep I still get emails and stuff from my old schools.
Really?
Just because I'm still on the list for whatever reason, and I keep getting emails like we're closed for inclement weather, and I'm like, wow, must suck there. I'm having a great old time. I expected a lot more snow based on my location, but that's just not true. It just doesn't happen.
You look pretty high up.
Yeah, we're 5,000 feet. So
I think you get. Well, actually, no, I don't know how that works.
We do get a good bit of snow, especially in March and April, but it melts so fast just because again we're so high up, we're so close to the sun.
Yeah,
and it's also not humid, so it's not dense. It's very fluffy. So that's the difference.
Really stick. Yeah. I would rather have ridiculous amounts of snow than pretty much anything else. I was talking to my mom a while back, and my partner, and I was like, "Listen, it's not. What is it? What does how's it go? It's not earthquakes. It's not alligators. It's not hurricanes. I will take chunky water most days of the week. Like that's my state's affliction is that we get some real cold water sometimes. You know, it's not Oklahoma and Texas that get tornadoes within Tornado Alley. It's not flipping what do you call it? Fires of California and earthquakes of that region. It's not any of that stuff. And yeah, that's worth it to me to not like, I'll wear an extra freaking jacket if I have to. If it means I don't have to do any of the other stuff that people have to do.
Nah, not doing that. I'd rather be warm.
Yeah, I guess, but
I have to wake up early as shit, go turn on my car, let it heat up, defrost my windshield. Nah, not doing any of that. Meanwhile, my hands are cold, I'm shaking, my joints hurt.
I mean, put on an extra jacket.
It doesn't work. You've seen it. You've lived with me while it happens. It doesn't work.
Then your jackets aren't thick enough. I don't know what to tell you. You're not getting thick jackets, my guy. You got to get new jackets that do work, because I promise you it works.
It does not work.
Yeah, it works. It works. I don't know who lied to you about that, but it definitely works.
My body tells me that I'm cold and that my joints hurt.
Well, maybe you should stop listening to your body and be less cold. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't listen, but my body constantly tells me, "Hey, you're tired. Just take a nap." And I go, "I have things to edit. I have games I want to play. I have things to do." I just want to point out that was bullshit.
I think.
Speaking of betrayal, have you ever been cheated on by a girl?
I think so. I never confirmed it though.
Just never confirmed it.
Only one partner ever would have even tried that. My partner before my current one, we went long distance for a bit, and she conspicuously just lost interest. Now, admittedly, I had also lost interest, but I was like, hey, we should talk, and then she's like, no. This went on for like 3 months, and I'm just like, we should talk. And she's like, no. And like she wouldn't respond to my morning texts or anything else. And I'm just like, this is weird.
Well, I feel like that's pretty clear right there.
Yeah, and it was completely different before. Now I get that long distances are for everybody. Totally respect that. I had that conversation with her before things had got to the long distance, and she was like, "No, I want this to work out." And I'm like, "Cool, but like it's stuff you got to communicate. You got to you have to be ready to go to deal with the rigmarole. If you're really dependent on like physicality to confirm your feelings with your partner, then you have to. I mean, it's just difficult. It's just difficult for a lot of people, right?
Yeah. Part of that's just knowing yourself. Like I know that I can never do it just because of who I am.
I never, like I said, I never had a problem with it. I was texting her every day. I look forward to texting her in the morning and afternoons, etc. And she just no longer had any interest in telling me about anything. I was just like, yeah. I'm just like, well, since you're not going to talk to me, if we're not going to talk, then this isn't a relationship. And then freaking, what was it? Like a year and a half later, I'm working a new job. I've got new friends, and I get a text, and I mean, I had well and truly forgotten about this person. Like,
yeah.
And the other thing that was important to the story is I stay with friends with all of my exes, like straight up. If we were friends before, which I only date.
I mean, I hope you're friends with them. I don't want to be dating my enemy. Some people are into that. I'm not.
No, but then she just texted me out of the blue like, hey, I'm really sorry to have ended things the way that I did, and I miss our friendship. And I was like, I was blindsided by that because she was so adamant that she couldn't be friends with people after she dated them because it's weird. She didn't like it. And I was like, okay, I disagree, but I also have to respect your opinion on that because you don't want me to contact you. Then I'm not going to do that. That's fine. Yeah. But we had a pretty decent friendship before that, and I was kind of sad for a while. Gotten over it, and I just felt so vindicated. I think she was looking for forgiveness for something. Don't know what that thing was. And I'm never
neither confirm nor deny.
Right. Never able to confirm a partner cheated on me. Have my suspicions. But suspicions don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. I think I know for a fact that you haven't cheated on, I think.
Yeah, I have been.
That sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's rough, buddy.
Awful. Well, technically it happened 3 times, but I only count 2 of them because she was not a girl. We went on 1 date. I don't count her as a girlfriend. I pretty much told her I'm not going to see her again.
Oh, okay.
But she basically flaunted in my face, like, I've had sex with some people and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay. Congratulations. All right. I'm not sure what you want out of this. But 2 of them were girlfriends. And I was like, hey, just a quick question. What the fuck? just a quick question. How did I do to you? She's like, well, you're very angry. I'm like, what the fuck you mean I'm angry? Okay, hold on. I'm hearing it. Hold on.
I mean, I can't imagine, but also I could imagine getting
that was not the real conversation. That was just me playing a bit. But
okay, I was going to say that sucks.
So the first girlfriend that cheated on me was still infatuated with her ex. And I'm like, now that I'm older, I can see that was always the case, but it was
not clear to you at the time.
Yeah, it was not clear to me at the time. And they were in the same like classes and stuff. So, I mean, it was just proximity and she thought she had a chance back at him. So she kind of just went for him.
That's bullshit.
And I can't tell the extent that she cheated on me, but she clearly was at least just keeping me as a reserve while she was going after him, which is cheating to me. Like,
for sure.
You don't want to be with me anymore. Like, you don't want to be with me anymore. You want to be with him. So
kind of like a backup, which doesn't feel good. Yeah. A rebound's one thing, but a backup is some emotional manipulation bullshit. My whole thing is, and anyone who's talked to me for more than 30 seconds can tell you that I am obsessed with just communication, just talking to people, being honest and not being a dick, you know?
Which is why I think you do very well with long distance, because that's your basically your primary mode of life. I always love hearing about that, of particularly men like, oh, I missed these signs from women or whatever. I'm like, you were young and dumb. Of course, now that you're older, you recognize it, but dude, you were I don't beat yourself over it, because you were never going to realize it.
I definitely don't hold it against myself. It's just sometimes it's like the realizations are embarrassing. You're just like, oh, screw my life.
She was naked in front of me. I didn't realize it. And I was like,
I actually read a story like that on Reddit, like literally like 3 days ago. This guy was like, she said she didn't want to do anything explicit. So then she asked me like massage her, and like she kept like, increasing her state of undress, and and I was just like, okay, and just not doing anything, and we're just she just wants a massage. That's fine. And after like a while, she was like, bro, are you gay? And he was like, what? She's like, you don't like she's like basically naked at this point. And dude was like not initiating because he had heard her say, well, yeah, this isn't what I want.
That's a communication failure. That's on her.
That is a giant communication failure. Well, it's just so like you could, but people will look at the guy and be like, you didn't get the hint. And I told people a long time ago. Yeah, I told people a long time ago, I do not do hints. That is how you catch a case.
Well, it's something that women often complain about. It's like, I don't understand what we're doing wrong. I was like, I think I told you the story one time of some girl was asking me, it's like, what am I doing wrong? I'm interested in this guy. I'm like, well, what are you doing? It's like, well, I laugh at this joke and I'm smiling and everything. And I go, and? She's like, no, that's it. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Do you have other male friends? Yeah. Do you also laugh at their jokes? Yeah. Do you smile at them? Yeah. And then she goes, oh. I'm like, oh, so you understand what was going on. That doesn't make any sense, right? There's no way to tell the difference.
The way that our society teaches men and women to communicate is just so detrimental to actually a healthy relationship of any description.
Well, I find that and particularly in relationships, women are much better at communicating openly and more honestly. It's just that initial part is just so bad because, I mean, that's just how society that's how we structured it. And it is some dog shit because it leads to those issues where women feel rejected or ignored. And I'm like, no, it's just, I was always told not to be too forward. I was told not to do this because it seems creepy or unsettling. Yeah. And what you do, I've had 10 other women do, and they were not interested. So I don't know how to read the situation. I do not.
The way that we teach young men and women to romance is literally just creepy by any other standard, right? Like, oh, you have to play coy and be hard to get, and you have to, and it's just like, don't tell them you like them. Yeah. Just tell them you like them. There's nothing cooler and doper than just someone saying, want you to know that I really like you.
Well, there's also nothing cool and dope. It's also something that just gets the nonsense out of the way. Because I've also heard I've had this myself with girls like, oh, well, we can like study or we can do this or whatever. So I go to their dorm or whatever. I'm like, all right, so here's how you do math. And like, I don't want to do math. And I was like, then why did you ask to do math? I'm like, well, I wanted to get naked. And I'm like, that was not clear.
I think that's happened to me. I don't know. I just one time I literally went over a friend of mine. Well, we weren't even that friends. We just had a math class together. She's like, hey, I've been having some trouble with this. I was like, oh, me too. Maybe we can work on it together, I guess. And she's like, yeah, that'd be great. I would love that. And I was like, cool. And in my mind, I'm just like, we're just going to go study. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because that was my intention. Like, and I was the one that was like, but
who is time for women when you have math? Numbers.
So I was like, yeah, do you want to go to the, common area, or do you want to go to like, other common area, or do you want to go to, I'm just like, and she's like, oh, we can just go back to my dorm room or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. And I just thought that something else was going to happen, and it never did. But I never did anything about it. Like, I never was like, well, that's touchy feely. I was just like, let me just do math. But like, there were like a multitude of hints that I felt like were dropped, but they weren't explicit enough. Like, I was like, that sounded like a hint, but I'm not doing that. And I just eventually left, and she was like, all right, cool, bye. And we did work, but it was just like confusing the whole time. Like, confusing as hell the whole time.
Oh yeah, we do the question.
Oh yeah. Do you have one?
Yeah. So in line with what we were talking about before, so our question today is, if you were I believe the proper terminology would be the opposite gender at this point, opposite sex, for, let's just say, a week, what would you want to experience?
I can tell you what I would want to experience.
Just because the reality of it is that no matter how much you read or how much you hear, how many friends you have, you will never know unless by first-hand experience. Even if it's just one thing, what is the thing that you've always wondered about? Man.
So many things, but also I can't think of anything because you asked me that directly. Do you have an answer? Do you know?
I have a few answers, yeah. I mean, again, other than like the pretty typical stuff, I'm more interested in what is communication between women like again, between men. I guess again, it's one of the things where I've talked to women. I've had some that are very direct, some that are very subtle, some that are stereotypical, some that are not. But I'm trying to figure out generally, what is communication between women like? Because you and I will be honest with each other. We'll call each other assholes, but we'll apologize for it. We admit when we're wrong. We have a certain way of communicating because we're men and because we have that shared experience. When I talk to a women are, no matter what, typically always on guard because they never know. And I'm always on guard with women because I never know. But I'm just thinking, between women, what is communication like? What's it like to talk to each other? What actually goes on in your heads? I'm just kind of curious about that.
I imagine the communication is mostly the same. It's more like the person you are, right? I imagine that some people that were
that's the thing. It's the person you are, but
we communicate very similarly.
As much as people want to make the thing that we're all equal, is like we are equal, but we don't have equity, meaning that there are social standards that are still upheld and still requested. So women tend to be more subtle. Women tend to not make waves because that's what you're told to do.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. For me, it would be like, all right, if I woke up in a gender bent manga or whatever the scenario is here, where I just woke up and I was, for all intents and purposes, a woman. I've never thought about it.
Really, I've thought about it. I'm always interested in how people think. Like again, like you, Deion, communicate in a way that allows the way your mind works is that you like long-term relationships because you can handle that. But I can't because I do need the physicality in some fashion, and I need to be close to somebody because if I'm not close to you, and it's mostly because I just work too much. I'm just busy doing other shit that I don't want to spend hours on the phone because I'm busy doing other things. I'm tired.
Right.
It's a bit selfish, but I also recognize it about myself. So I'm always interested in how other people think, and that's one of them.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think that. There are so many. Here's the thing. Comparatively, right? Mm-hmm. Being a dude is so dope. I don't have to worry about like being pregnant. I don't have to worry about having a period. I don't have to worry about walking alone at night. I don't have to worry about not being listened to because I'm female. I don't have to worry about so many things. I can't imagine, like, even if it was only for a day or a week, like, what would I be excited about experiencing?
Well, not even excited, but what would you want to experience? Because I honestly would want to experience what's it like to be a woman walking alone at night. Not because I would want to, but because what is the level of fear or anxiety? What is the proper emotion? How intense is it?
Yeah, no, I would definitely do things that were like, I would definitely forget that I was a woman, do some dumb things like that I shouldn't have done, and then been like, oh shit, I'm a woman, and then be scared, and I would be appreciative of those experiences. And that's now I've gone from hearing about it to knowing about it to having experienced it. I would love the ability to be able to increase that empathy for people,
because that's the reality for me, is that I can have sympathy, but I can't have empathy because I can't live that experience.
We could never, be truly empathetic. Okay, no. I have one. If I could wake up as a white woman, I would go to a grocery store and I would complain my ass off. Because you have to be. I would go to a grocery store. No, and ask to see a manager, and I would experience that. Because here's the thing, it must be some form of high for them to do it so constantly. The fact that we have a cultural word for this type of person being a Karen, it has to be some kind of high that they're experiencing when they do it. Otherwise, why is it so consistent? Yeah. I would immediately go to a grocery store, ask to return some shit I did not buy.
No, I don't have the receipt. That doesn't matter. I want service.
Oh, I would do the hell out of that. Are you kidding me? That's like the only thing I could think of. Yeah, that was a really hard question. That's probably one of the hardest ones.
Well, that's the ones that I like to do are those hard ones that get you to really think about, because to me it opens up your mind and your who you are as a person, because whereas I want to be more empathetic, you want to go on a power trip.
Yeah.
Well, and again, like, there are some people that are like, oh, I just want to have sex as a woman and see what it's like. I'm like, that's just weird. Like, I don't necessarily, I mean, I understand, I guess, baseline, but it's fucking weird how most people think that.
If that's your first answer, yeah.
Well, I also think that, like, if you're a woman with, the estrogen, like, and I don't mean you necessarily as a woman, I mean a woman version of you that has the life experience of a woman and the mentality and the estrogen, you'd be thinking differently. You probably wouldn't be so concerned about it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be looking forward to having sex as a woman with a man. I would have to be not with a man.
Thanks everybody for listening. We started with Deion's ethereal existence, and we ended up with the humans' bad mating dance, and we, just like you guys, have no idea how we got there either. We hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you next Thursday. If you want to support us, we have a Patreon page. Rhuminus, will upload to YouTube, and I've also published 2 books. You can support us that way as well, if you'd like. As I say, like, I think it goes along with the idea about what I was saying before about I forget what the word is. So what else you want to talk about?
No. What do we do? We did the weather. We did we did video games. We did capitalist bullshit.
We did not do capitalism bullshit, did we?
Yeah, we did PlayStation stuff. And
we did. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's an infinite supply of capitalist bullshit to talk about, isn't there?